Evet. 2 günlük yoğun bir programın ardından programda da ilan edildiği gibi 3 önemli konuğumuzla beraber değerlendirme oturumuna geçiyoruz. Bu değerlendirme oturumunda ben bazı sorular yönelteceğim değerlendirme yapan hocalarımıza. Önce onların bu sorularla ilgili kısa kısa inşallah cevaplarını aldıktan sonra inşallah kalan zamanda sizlerin de katkılarını, değerlendirmelerini almaya çalışacağız. Ama önce 2 veya 3 panelde bulunan hocalardan ben sorular soracağım ve o sorulara cevaplarını alacağım ve onun arkasından diğer kısma geçmiş olacağız inşallah. Şimdi keynote speaker olarak toplantımızı açtığı için İbrahim Musa ile, Doktor İbrahim Musa ile başlamak istiyorum. Doktor İbrahim Musa'nın aslında fikirlerini büyük ölçüde girişte aldık. Bunu biliyoruz. O sebeple bunlara ilave olarak söyleyeceği şeyler bu toplantının arkasından mutlaka ortaya çıkmıştır. Belki bunları öncelikle düşünebilir. Ben önce İbrahim Musa'dan bu toplantıyla ilgili düşüncelerini başlangıçta almak istiyorum. Bu toplantıyla ilgili düşüncelerini, bunu söylerken de hem duygularını verebilir hem de burada olması gereken neler vardı, neler eksik kaldı, neler konuşuldu, neler eksik kaldı, bu noktalara da odaklanabilirse, buralarla ilgili de görüşlerini belirtirse bundan da memnun oluruz. Çünkü biz bu değerlendirme oturumlarında ortaya çıkan fikirlerle daha sonraki toplantılar içinde planlamalar yapmada bunları kullanıyoruz. Did they translate everything? It's okay? Yeah, you understand. Okay. Tamam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much, Dr. Badir. I'm sure there are many things that can be said. First of all, I once again want to thank the organizers for inviting me, and I don't have any special insights, no matter that you might think I have special insights. I just try and find the best kind of way I can think about the situation. One of the things that I said, 2 things that I want to highlight what I said in my opening remarks in my keynote address. One is the need for philosophy. And what I mean by philosophy is that philosophy means we need to learn how to think. Philosophy is about critical thinking. Philosophy is not knowing about a lot of things. Philosophy is how to do critical thinking. And the other thing that I tried to point out is that technology is part of our cognitive thinking. Someone who is on a respirator, you are making decisions based on a number of machines that tell you what the condition of a patient is. So technology is part of medical diagnostic. It's part of the cognitive system of doctors and the whole healthcare system, with artificial intelligence, with the whole question of how you document patient records, information. So it's already there. All I'm saying is be attentive to that and bring that into your ethical thinking. So you asked me about a couple of things that I should comment on. I think that the conference, tried and elicited a great deal of different methodologies. We saw the varieties. We saw really excellent papers, some of them very detailed. One of the things I wish that in the next round, as these papers become further developed, that they find a focus point, because there's only 3 or 4 ideas that you can treat in a paper that you can do well. So focus on 1 or 2 ideas for the next time around and develop those ideas. And the key thing is to develop thickness, complexity in one idea. And I think that will be helpful for Muslim bioethics. It will advance our thinking in complex ways. The other one of Dr. Professor Badir has also shared some questions for us, and I just want to take a short time to go through some of that. One of the questions he asked was, this idea of ijtihad by committee, fatwa giving by committee. Now, there's advantage, but a lot of disadvantage to that too. The advantage is that people can make contribution from different perspectives, different scholars. But one of the great disadvantage from committee ijtihad is that people will not want to bring a fresh opinion to the table because they're watching what the other guy is saying. And someone's going to say, oh, well, that is not acceptable, and well, this is haram, what you're saying, or this is makruh, this kind of language. So oftentimes there's no creativity in ijtihad by committee, and you get back to the same place. So my observation of ijtihad by committees or committee fatwas has been that they haven't taken us that far that we should be going. In the one area that ijtihad by committee did go very far is where the remuneration and the incentives were high. The remuneration for people serving on Islamic banking and finance committees. There the money is fantastic, and the creativity of creating new instruments from old has been really interesting and very controversial, but they've gone there. But in the bioethical realm, I have not seen that, and a lot of the things is that we go back and forth. And I think there's a couple of other things. The other thing is about state structures, and having, state structures, having muftis or state institutions. The thing I want to say there is that, again, there are advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are that a state structure that issues fatwas, like your Diyanat or Indonesia, you have your various institutions, is that the public policy on various other areas, on economics and politics and the moral teachings, can all be on the same place. There will be coherence between that. And you can have public policy with integrity, good research, but on condition that there is good governance. If there's a lack of legitimacy of the state structure and poor governance, everything suffers, including your Islamic ethical or moral teachings that are state-sponsored. Oftentimes, I have noticed that governments with low legitimacy use fatwas and use fatwa institutions, the official mufti, and so on and so forth, in order to boost their own legitimacy. It doesn't make for good governance, nor does it make for good fatwas. Because oftentimes, then these institutions are utilized to boost government policy. And in other instances, I've seen that states and governments use fatwas to satisfy some constituencies and to alienate other constituencies. So there's always playing the political game. So you have fatwas become part of a political football. So you have, football fatwas, FF. No. So football fatwas is another way that people misuse this. So I think that the best way forward in today's, if it's possible, to have independent institutions doing this kind of research. It has independence, raises its own money, does the things that are valuable for itself, and there'll be a lot more integrity in that. Let me keep my comments until then.
Okay, next time we'll come back to you later on.
If you want to.
Dr. Abul Fazl, the same questions. My intention was to ask one or two questions and get answers. But since I sent all my answers to the speakers, so Dr. Ibrahim Musa used the advantage of having all the questions and answered more than I asked. So let's do it this way. Then, of course, you can choose as you want according to the questions that I sent.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Shukran, Professor Bedir. What I want to say about the conference is that, alhamdulillah, it was well organized, and as far as time management is concerned, alhamdulillah, with a little bit of, delay, but everything was to the T, And then I wish to thank the organizers, the students that you put at our disposal. They were excellent and very hospitable, and they went out of their way to make our stay here comfortable, and shukran for that. Now, as far as, the question goes on whether the presenters did justice to their presentation, and I must say that they all did justice. They prepared very well, and they delivered what they were meant to deliver. Alhamdulillah, they did that. Now, and as far as the question of whether they touched on the topic, now of the theme was on fatwa, and I'm really happy that if you look at the program, is that you find that almost all the sessions made direct or indirect reference to fatwa. And normally, when you go to conferences, people come, and then the main theme, you find some of them not even addressing that. But alhamdulillah, that was done. And for that, I am happy. But perhaps you'll talk later on about the fatwa, community fatwa, or the state fatwa, and so on, or ijtihad that they do collectively, and so on. So I don't want to talk now. We'll let someone else speak.
İlhan Hocam, siz de hem ilk sorudan başlayıp hem de istediğiniz sorudan devam edebilirsiniz.
So as a co-organizer, I cannot criticize organization, therefore it was excellent. But I think we can think, so the main question is what can we make better in the next time? So we can discuss this question and in the evaluation of this symposium at first on the structural level and also in the level of content. And our main goals were at first learning from each other, discuss with other experts from the other countries and experience from different countries of the world. And then maybe we should learn also in this discourse process thinking and reflecting. I think they are main, very important points. And the presentations were excellent, but with a character of heterogeneity. I mean, one expert discussed mainly the methodological procedure in spatial topics or country and so on. Maybe we need more, I would say, overlapping field to discuss constructively. On the meta level, I can see, I will give the example of, an example from Descartes, a metaphor, I will say. Descartes said, we need for our thinking an excellent house, but to building, the time for building of this intellectual house is very long, and therefore we need a little and simple house. We say in Turkish, gecekondu maybe, so it's a very simple. And it's a good example for, I think, fatwa practice. So on the one side, we learned, for example, yesterday, a gynecologist say, so I have a real case, what should I do? On the one side, we have to give answer to this person. This is the simple house, but on the other side, We heard from other experts, brain death, organ transplantation, in vitro fertilization, and so on. We need more deeply philosophical, theological discourse. And in this discourse, we should identify the overlapping between theological issues and philosophical issues. And if we identify these clear issues, maybe we should discuss exactly on these issues. And with this concept, we can have a successful in the future.
My next question is about, this organization, this conference aimed at how Fetva making operates in medical fields. In medical fields and Fetwa, the conference obviously includes two major camps. One is the scholars of the Sharia, and the other one is scholars of the medicine. So there are difficulties that we are facing today in the Fetwa making processes, or doctors, physicians speaking on Fetwa issues and Fetwa making Fetwa institutions and the persons talking about the medical issues. We realize that there is a real difficulties here in methodological terms. So do you think this conference helped contribute to that goal? That was our goal, to raise these issues of the some methodological issues, like, for example, how to get the right information from the medicine, and how to make up Fetwa based on a sound Shari'i thinking. So that kind of question was our main questions. Although we discussed many case examples, but the real aim was to raise these questions and to contribute to that kind of methodological problems. What do you think, Ibrahim Musa?
Thank you.
And what can we do?
Yeah, thank you.
For the future.
Well, several of the papers went into great depth to look at, for instance, practices. This morning's papers, for instance, of the Diyanat, or the one that looked at specifically at the Majma al-Fiqh al-Islami's kind of practices and looked at that. So those were fatwas or research papers that were given that came from a medical community. And this Dr. Ayman's paper also looked at IVF as asked by Jadul Haq, and yesterday also we had those kinds of illustrations. So I think there was that conversation. One of the things, so I know a lot of people that I met here, at least from the Turkish colleagues, many of them are medical people. I mean, I'm not part of a fatwa committee elsewhere. Maybe Dr. Abul Fadl is in South Africa and other places. But one of the things I would have liked to have seen is to have in the room people from Turkey who are part of the fatwa making process. So maybe some of the women are part of, I think this morning one of the presenters was saying that she's part of that committee. And I wanted to possibly hear more of them, more of those voices, and how they go about in deliberation. So I think that, but we didn't have it here where we have those two kinds of people talking directly to each other. But each one explained how they go about their work, either in international bodies or in domestic bodies, right? So one of the ways to Dr. Ilhan's kind of questions that he raised was that I'm thinking that for a future conference, what would be useful is to have a conference with case studies. So for instance, I want to hear from Indonesia, South Africa, and Turkey, or whatever country you have, what are 3 positions on IVF or abortion, right? And detailed reasons of how they go. But just one case study, one item. And you can then push them to identify, you want them to focus on methodology, or you want to focus on, on the substantive philosophical issues. You decide what issues you want, but we take a spectrum of 3 cases on the same topic, on 3 different settings, see if you have any kind of difference there. Or you can choose organ transplantation and so on. So you can decide, what the issues are, what you really want the scholars to look at. You see, sometimes the methodological issues in different places it's important to how to go about the methodology, but oftentimes we don't do enough critique of the methodology. Because methodology critique is exactly where the philosophical issue lies, right? And that means that one has to take a little bit of a risk and ask some questions that might be a little bit uncomfortable. So the question is, why not something else, right? So that might be the more helpful one. So I thought that the materials were in the room, but we possibly should create a deeper conversation with the materials as presented. But I didn't hear the fatwa makers and the fatwas talking to each other, because there's one group of people were, in my view, not in the room unless they have not identified themselves. Am I clear?
Yeah, but what I am asking is more than that. I mean,
Okay.
what do we think as academicians? I am part of the fatwa making
Process. Right.
process
Okay.
already.
Yeah.
But the problem is, for example, coming from Indonesia or Pakistan or Egypt, do we have, and also from Iran, for example, I realized that, in Iran, in surrogacy, they have a radically different way of the rest of the Muslim nations. And also in the case of abortion before 4 months, they have a very clear and almost totally different way from the. So these kind of materials, you are right, they are in the room, but did we bring these methodological issues forefront?
No,
point.
I don't think. I was sitting there and I didn't want to make too much and intervene too much, because there are other people in the room too, and respectful, but I thought that is the most exciting part. That was the most exciting part, that we could have had that conversation with Dr. Ihsan. But he himself, once the questions came, he said, look, I'm not an expert on Shi'i law. But what I do know is that the rule on, for instance, in vitro fertilization donor, which is allowed by Ayatollah Khamenei's fatwa, is a fatwa, but is not binding on anybody, is not part of state law, and many other mujtahids in Iran disagree with that position. Similarly, the other thing that he said, that organs can be sold, for instance. That was another interesting conversation that we could have had and really push the envelope there. What are the real issues dividing us between selling an organ and gifting an organ? But there again, I think his reasoning was that the state allows you to sell, you will not be criminalized, but certain institutions take a decision that they are not going to treat people who pay for organs. He mentioned Shiraz is one institution, his institution is something else. So some people found it surprising, but you have the right not to apply it in your context, but maybe in 90% of the other places, it does allow.
Yeah, thank you. The same question to you.
Anyway, I would perhaps in the beginning just concur with what Professor Ibrahim Musa said. Also when I came here, I felt that there's something lacking, although that was not an indictment on ISAR, that we should have had the ulama at least present here. And that is important, because in one of the deliberations, one of the speakers mentioned that the first thing they do, they go straight to the masjid to find out the answer. They don't come to the doctors or anything, to anyone. The first port of call is the masjid. So we have to recognize, even in South Africa, this is the same thing. So we have to recognize their presence. And I think when we have such conferences, if we can, even one or two, just they include them to be here. All right. And as far as the question of whether we achieved what has been deliberated upon today. Now, you have already the experience of publishing whatever has been deliberated upon. So the beauty of this conference is that whenever you asked anyone to prepare, so they brought in and they supported documents from the evidence they had was actually from the fatwa, from the different, one young doctor this morning mentioned all the different organizations that issued fatwa. So all these are there. So they have done that. So if you can put all that, whatever has been done in a publication, I think that is the way that we go forward. That it would be beneficial for everyone to come to know that these have been deliberated upon, and these are the answers or the fatwa given on these issues.
I just said one. What I liked is that one of the papers talked about some of these international fatwas. It was yesterday's presentation, and said that some of these fatwas was critical. It was a critical. The speaker, it was a female speaker, made several times said it was a little bit is incomplete. She said it was not right, it didn't look right, and so on. So I like that critical edge. So that was there also. I think I was the only one who was not critical.
I think we
Aynı soruyu yani
Hocam anladım.
soruları Türkçe söyleyesin diye böyle söylüyorum. Hani çoğunluk tercüme etmekle uğraşmasın.
Türkçe mi cevap vereyim? Pekala. In Turkish I will speak because the chairman. Şimdi tabii bu ve buna benzer sempozyumlarda en fazla belki en büyük kazanım bu çalışmaların uluslararası, kültürler arası ve disiplinler arası bir özelliğinin olması ve bu özelliğin zaman içerisinde belki çok daha iyi bir hale getirilmesi. Şimdi uluslararası ya da disiplinler arası çalışmak demek işte bir hekim, teoloğun, hukukçunun, felsefecinin bir araya gelip konuşmaya başlaması değil. Aynı zamanda ki biz burada ayrımını yapıyoruz felsefede, yani tartışma ve bir diskurs ayrımını yapıyoruz. Tartışma, bir kişiyle bir konu hakkında konuşursunuz. Fakat diskurs söz konusu olduğunda belli bir metot, belli bir konsept ve belli bir hedef doğrultusunda bu tartışma yapılır. Şimdi hatırlarsanız ben unutmadım o sözü. Murtaza Hocam, belki sen de hatırlarsın. Yaklaşık 7 yıl önce bu sempozyum birincisini düzenlediğimizde Diyanet İşlerinden bir hocamız şöyle bu tartışmalardan sonra, yani tıpta fetva vermenin zorluğu, tıp alanındaki yapılan çalışmaların ve düşüncelerin zorluğundan sonra şunu söylemişti. O cümleyi unutmadım. Dedi ki, eğer siz tıbbi ve bilimsel anlamda bu zorluklar içerisinde bir reçete yazıyorsanız, biz de benzeri zorluklar içerisinde fetva veriyoruz. Yani biz fetva verirken de aslında bir takım bilgi ve metodolojik sorunlar var bu bağlamda. Onun için bir benzerlik var demişti. Şimdi bu bence güzel bir örnek. Yani bu şekildeki zorlukların her iki tarafta, yani hekim olanlar fetvadaki metodolojik zorluklara vakıf olmak durumunda. Tam tersi diyelim ilahiyatçılar da tıptaki metodolojilerin zorluklarına vakıf olmak durumunda. Tabi burada bir var, ne diyelim, epistemolojik anlamda bir ontolojik fark var. Yani teolojik bilgi ve metodolojinin özelliği farklı. Pozitif bilimlerin, tıbbın metodolojisi ve epistemolojisi farklı. Zaman olmadığı için soramadım. Dünkü konuşmamızda Recep hocamız güzel bir matrix çizdi. O matrix bir taraftan güzel ve pratik ama bir taraftan da sorunlu. Çünkü orada tabir yerindeyse ne diyelim işte çorba için gerekli malzemelerle işte bir makine yapmak için gerekli malzemeleri aynı tencerenin içerisine koydu. Dolayısıyla burada bir sorun var. Yani bunun en azından bir sorun olduğunu görmemiz gerekiyor. Ve bu bağlamda belki bundan sonraki spesifik diskurslar düşüncelerimizin üzerine düşünerek ve karşıdaki diyelim kişinin metodolojisini kurgularken ortaya çıkan sorunların üzerine düşünmemiz gerekiyor. Belki son nokta olarak da İbrahim Musa'nın tavsiyesini ben anlamlı buluyorum. Çünkü yani etik dediğimiz zaman günlük hayata uygulanan felsefenin bir alt disiplini olarak biz bunu biliyoruz. Yani bir vakada acaba sonuçlar ne şekilde ortaya çıkıyor? Buradaki düşünce farklılıkları nelerdir? Bir de şu da var tabii, yani şunu da karıştırmamak lazım. Diyelim X kürtaj vakasında 2 tane farklı hocaya sorduk veya birden fazla kişiye. Bunların 2 kişisi ya da 3 kişisi kürtaj yapmak işte diyelim İslam ahlakına göre ya da fıkhına göre doğrudur dedi. Bu şey demek değil. Bunların kullanmış olduğu argümanlar ve metodoloji aynı demek değil. Dolayısıyla yani aynı sonuca ulaşmak demek, aynı metodolojileri ve aynı düşünce yapısını ya da aynı felsefi argümanları kullanmak demek değil. Yani bu arada bu farklılığın da belki ortaya konması gerekiyor. Belki böyle daha çok hem pratik boyutu olan hem de metodolojik, felsefi, epistemolojik boyutu olan sorunlara odaklanıp ve bu konuda bir diskurs oluşturmamız gerekir diye düşünüyorum.
Evet. I have two more questions. One is about what do you think the most problematic aspect of fatwa making you see in the Muslim thinking? You know, probably you touched bits and pieces here and there, but I want you to be specific in that field now, in that point now.
Just on my earlier point, so you are a respectable member of the Fatwa Committee and you are the Majma al-Fiqh al-Islami, you're representative there. So I wasn't saying that you were not in the room, but I meant, you know, from your presentation yesterday, I could see that you and I would have a lot of agreement. We are more or less on the same page. But we want other people who are disagreeing with us in the room. Some people have more conservative views or totally disagree with us. It's much more exciting to have a conference with them in the room and having disagreement. So I think the biggest issue, and I did talk about it in my keynote, the biggest issue in the fatwa producing and the scholarship on fatwa issuing is the issue that affects all of Islamic thought. Fatwa making is no exception. And that is that as Muslims, we have put aside the knowledge production of the past 600 years of human civilization. We believe that that knowledge will never have a role in the discussion of our faith tradition, the elaboration of our faith tradition, its ethics, its morals. It will have no role in that. We have a solid role. We want that knowledge for engineering to build a beautiful building, to build us the best highways, to build us the best hospitals, even medical schools, that's also fine. But when it comes to our moral and cultural issues, knowledge of the past 600 years is the biggest problem for Muslims in Islamic thought. And therefore, the fatwas that are coming in front of us are issues that talk about the Ghazali and Ibn Rushd and Ibn Taymiyyah and past authorities. And there is nothing that, and those authorities lived in their world, and I believe if they come and they look at our fatwas and the world in which we are living, they will give us a earful and they'll give us a solid scolding about the poverty, that we are not taking the understanding of how the world operates and what the nature and meaning of the world is. The change in cosmology means that there has been a change in epistemology and ontology, what being is, what existence is. And that means that we live in a world that is separate from what the rest of humanity is, especially those of us who are religious. Those of us who are secular are moving in their own direction. But those of us who are religious live in a special spaceship. And we want to create a special world that is separate, and it's not working. All the Islamization projects failed one after the other. All the Islamic states failed one after the other because they don't want to put on board new knowledge. And new knowledge is my inheritance just as it is anybody else's inheritance, and that must become part of our fatwa conversation. Now, the other point is this: that doesn't mean that every mufti must become an authority on sociology, on anthropology, and the modern and the contemporary humanities. They have their own expertise. But they must have some literacy about that. They must have some literacy, basic literacy, number one. And my last point is that on these kinds of issues, the topics that we're discussing on bioethics, you mustn't be an expert on medicine. No one is asking you to be an expert on immunology as a mufti. But you must have basic literacy of what the philosophy of science is. What the philosophy of science is. If you don't have that grasp, if you don't have understanding of the ontological and philosophical issues of the day, you can't talk about contemporary and make judgments on contemporary science. Then you're just going to end up being give me a tutorial on brain death and I'll give you a fatwa. A tutorial-based fatwas. That's not how it works. You need to have a fundamental understanding of the human mind, what the nature of the human mind is, what some of the deep philosophical questions, what life is, and that what life is different of how it was imagined in the 9th and 10th century, and different what life is in the 21st century. These are deep philosophical questions that's got to do with the inheritance of knowledge of the last 600 years. And that is not part of our agenda. Therefore, the fatwas are what we call, anachronism. They're out of touch with time. They're anachronistic. Some of them do work, and because we have faithful Muslims who don't want to give up on this tradition, they follow these fatwas. But they can only follow these fatwas for 2 days. The third day, they give up on the fatwa, in a manner of speaking. So thank God we have faithful Muslims who still listen to the fatwas. Otherwise, oftentimes these issues are not very practical.
All right. I mostly agree, but except for 600 part, I say last 200 years. I totally agree with you. Okay. Ibn Abidin, who died in 1820s, is a very bright, smart guy who is producing the philosophically sophisticated fatwas still, but somehow in the process in the last 200 years, you are right, we are lacking that aspect. Yeah, Professor Abdul Fazl.
Yeah, let me just let me just restrict the discussion on making fatwa in the field of bioethics or in medicine. Why I understand what Professor Ibrahim is trying to tell us. Mustn't give them a tutorial, but I think, I find in South Africa, the ulama, they issue a fatwa in the field of medicine. They don't even understand the procedure at all, and they just give a fatwa. So I feel that we should educate them. Of course, they cannot be medical, they cannot excel in the field of medicine, but they should have at least make an effort that there should be a dialogue between the ulama and the medics, so that when they make a fatwa, then they are fully informed of what is meant to be in the fatwa. All right. Now, the other problem that I have about fatwa is that it has become a precedent, especially when you look at India and Pakistan. So the young ulama, when they issue a fatwa, then they quote the fatwa that has been quoted by so many years ago, the same fatwa they want to quote, and they feel that we cannot drive away from that because they have laid the basis. So there's no precedent actually, because we all know it was mentioned that it's non-binding. The fatwa is non-binding. So it is important that we revisit the fatwa every now and then with new knowledge that is coming. And this is the only way we'll be able to go forward. Shukran.
İlhan Hocam, buyurun.
Türkçe mi, İngilizce mi, Almanca mı?
Türkçe.
Şimdi tabii ben ilahiyatçı olmadığım için metodoloji konusunda çok ciddi bir şey yapamam. Ama belki evet, tıbbi ya da tıp etiği açısından iki noktaya ben temas etmek istiyorum. Bunlardan bir tanesi, bir kere şunu unutmamız lazım. Bu galiba unutuluyor genelde. Eğer bir teknik var olmuşsa Müslümanlar olarak bu tekniği kullanmayı da kullanmamayı da ahlaki olarak meşru kılabilmemiz lazım. Eğer kullanıyorsak neden kullandığımızı, reddediyorsak neden reddettiğimizi etik argümanlarla ortaya koymamız gerekiyor. Yani bir teknik varsa işte ne iyi bir tane daha imkanımız oldu değil, bu tekniğin var olması kendi içerisinde felsefi ve etik açıdan meşru kılmasını gerekiyor. Müsaade ederseniz bir şey de söylediğimi örnekle netleştirmeye çalışayım. İşte tüp bebek meselesi. Tüp bebek meselesi ilk geldiğinde ne demişlerdi? İşte sordular şeylere, hocalara, müftülere. Ne işe yarar? İşte çocuğu olmayan insanların çocuğu olmasına yardım eder. O zaman helal dendi. Fakat bu teknikle birlikte bir sürü işte diyelim embriyolar yeryüzüne geliyor. İşte yüzlerce, binlerce bildiğim kadarıyla mesela Almanya'da 20 bin ila 30 bin civarında embriyo buzdolaplarında saklanıyor. Bunların işte sonu ne olacak ve bunun işte diyelim hayatlarının ahlaki değeri vesaire falan bunlar hiç konuşulmadı. Yani bir teknik geldiğinde bütün şeyleriyle sadece pragmatik olarak kullanılmasının helal ya da haram olduğunu değil, aynı zamanda bunun oluşturacağı sonuçlar. Bu tabii ikinci bir pratik sonuç ama diğer taraftan da bununla beraber işte bir çocuğun dünyaya gelmesi, çocuk anlayışımız, kısırlık anlayışımız vesaire falan hepsinin felsefi anlamda da ya da insan anlayışı bağlamında da sorgulanması gerekiyor. Bir de ikinci nokta, şimdi şunu biliyoruz, özellikle yeni gelişen teknikler bizim tıp teknolojisinde kullanmış olduğum tekniklerden çok daha kompleks bir halde. Yeni bir alan var, hepimizin bildiği. Nedir o? Yapay zeka. Şimdi yapay zeka belki çok daha hızlı bir zaman içerisinde tıpta farklı alanlarda kullanılacak. Yani bizim Müslümanların İslam dünyasına baktığımız zaman ya da İslam dünyasındaki tıp konularıyla ilgili fetva verme geleneğine baktığımız zaman hemen hemen hepsinde bir teknik uygulamaya başladıktan sonra tartışma başlıyor. Onun için daha bu teknikler oluşurken uluslararası diskurza tabiri yerindeyse katılmamız gerekiyor. Yani bu konuda acaba şu anda neler söyleniyor, Batı neler söyleniyor şu anda onlarca kitap, yüzlerce makale var yapay zeka konusunda ve neredeyse Batı'da benim gördüğüm kadarıyla hemen hemen birçok toplantının konusu bu. Dolayısıyla bir an önce belki o zaman benim artık Murtaza Hocam benden duymaktan bıktı. Yani 45. Gazali doktorasını yaptırmayalım öğrencilerimize. Yapalım. Yapay zekanın işte tıp alanında kullanılmasının ilahiyat boyutu, başka alanlarda kullanılmasının ilahiyat boyutu vesaire. Bu şekilde uluslararası en son etik tartışmalara müdahil olalım.
Güzel. Yani yapay zeka ile ilgili İSAR'ın önümüzdeki yıl toplantısı olacak. Bunu biliyoruz. İnşallah buradan da ilan etmiş olalım. Last question for the future. You see that these young, bright students, they are following us for the last 2 days and they are very, ambitious and patient, to listening us and waiting for something out from this point onwards. What do you advise, and what do you advise us and them for the future, to İSAR and for the young students who are entering the field?
Thank you. I don't know whether my advice is good. I can't advise you. You people are too old to be advised. So
To İSAR,
to the young people.
İSAR is young. It's 10-year-old.
Okay, 10-year-old. Good. So I think that I was very impressed by the attendance yesterday. This room was full. lots of young people. So that's very, very hopeful that there's an energy, there's enthusiasm. The only thing I can tell you is don't stop asking questions and don't stop reading and writing. There's no golden magic bullet of becoming learned. No sheikh, no imam, no website is going to make you smart. You think so, you're going to go for this program and that university and abroad and so on. I'm a graduate from a madrasa. I went to the basic madrasa in India and I possibly spent not more than $1,000 for my whole education for 6 years, right? That's including possibly travel. And most people think that I'm reasonably successful. Most people think, but I could be wrong. So the one thing that my own experience told me, anything that comes in front of me that interests me, I need to read, I need to understand, I need to hear, and I have to ask questions. Never be satisfied with the answer you get. Never be satisfied with the answer you get, especially in matters of religion and theology. You must always ask what next and why. So thinking and reading and equipping yourself is the only way forward. There is no, ISAR is only as good as the questions that you ask. ISAR is only as good as the research that you contribute to. And there must be quality research, it must be high-level research, and it must be research that no one asks else the question. And that means that you have to take risks. If you don't want to take risks, don't get into the business of knowledge. Become a business person. No, sorry. In business, you have to take a risk also. I don't know. Everything involves a risk. So you have to think about this question of risk. And what you said about, let's have, I made a note to myself, but I don't know what I wrote to myself, but it was something, it was something that you said, research outcomes. I said something about let's have research and the outcomes of our research. That is the only thing that's going to show that how you are different from anybody else. You have to have research and you have to do deep research because that is the thing that's going to make you different from anybody else. Research and research and research. And you have to do it with the best intentions, but you also learn from your mistakes. Without making a risk, you're not going to make mistakes. And without mistakes, you're not going to learn. It's a simple formula. You have to make mistakes in order to learn.
Anyway, during my short stay here, I made a point of talking to the young medical students, and I'm really happy that I did that. So already ISAR is doing one of the greatest services to them, in the sense that they are becoming doctors, and side by side with that, when they are in the first year and second year of medicine, they learn Arabic. And that is fantastic, because what you are doing is integration of knowledge. And Arabic will lay the foundation for them to be able to delve into the original sources of Islam. And the beauty of what you're doing is that after 2 years, or during the second year, you send them to Jordan. And then they have to actually take an exam and then bring the Shahada back, okay? And I'll give my own example. I studied in an institution, in a madrasa in Pakistan for 5 years, and I could not speak a word of Arabic. And it's important that you go to the country where the people speak, where Ahlul Loga, where people speak, where you integrate and mix with the people who speak Arabic. And there is where you benefit. Alhamdulillah, you are doing that. And then when you come back, then you expose them to the classical literature, all right? So now you're already doing that. But then I would say that they are being trained as doctors, and let us go a step further and train them in, and I propose that you train them in Islamic medical jurisprudence. So you be the the forerunner in that, where you take Islamic medical jurisprudence out of the broad Islamic jurisprudence. You can make it an independent science where it will benefit them. And inshallah wa ta'ala, in whatever the work does, they'll be able to implement, the real, teachings of Islam along with their profession, inshallah.
Türkçe mümkün olduğu kadar kısa. Şimdi benim babam işçi ve gençken, tabii genç talebelere değil mi hocam bu şeyimiz, tavsiyemiz diyelim. Şey demiş işte klasik hepimizin bildiği ya işte oğlum oku, gerekirse ceketimi satıp seni okuturum ben. Şimdi babamın bana oku, işte üniversiteye git derken ki okuma özleminin arkasında yatan şuydu. Yani oku, benim gibi zor şartlarda para kazanma ve daha çok para kazan. Şimdi ben de aynı şeyi kızlarıma söylüyorum. İkisi de üniversitede. Fakat benim oku derken kızlarıma aynı şekilde değil, eşyanın tabiatına farklı bakabilmek için okuyun. Onun için araştırın. Para her zaman kazanılır bu ülkede. Aç kalmak söz konusu değil. Gerçi benim halimi gördükçe akademiye girmekten çekiniyorlar ama böyle bir durum var. Bu bir. İkincisi de şimdi bir toplumun içerisinde yaşıyoruz. Biraz önce hocalarımızın söylediği okuyun, araştırın, düşünün, yazın. Yazmak gibi eylemler maalesef çok değerli eylemler değil bizim toplumumuzda. Hatta şey var, ben yüksek lisans enstitü müdürüyken orada yüksek lisansın başında arkadaşlarımıza bir konuşma yaptığımda bir karikatür gösteriyordum. O karikatür şöyle. Şimdi bir tane adam uzun bir elinde sopa var. Ağaç. 2 kişi var. Birisi Arşimet. Diyor ki işte bana bir kaldıraç verin dünyayı kaldırayım diyor. Diğeri de diyor ki bana odun getirin size mangal yapayım diyor. Bakıyor mangala doğru gidiyor. Ya abi bu daha cazip diyor. Onun için yani Arşimet'e doğru yürüyün. Mangal yapana doğru yürümeyin. Benim söyleyeceğim bu kadar.
There's something I want to say to my Turkish colleagues and the young people out here. I'm working with, young Muslim theologians in India and Pakistan who are from the madrasas, and we're educating them in philosophy and history and science. But every time I come to Turkey, I see a really exciting place, and if I look at and I want to draw your attention to your historic moral responsibility as Turkish people. You are heirs of a great civilization. You have achieved a lot. You're living in an environment where countries are imploding. And when you come to Turkey, yes, you have problems, you have economic challenges, your country has different points of view. Maybe the economic issues will overcome, but the diversity of points of view in this country is a blessing. It's a blessing. You don't want a country where everybody thinks the same way. This diversity is important. For you to shine, those of you who are following Islam and make Islam a serious business and a way of life, you need to work 3 times harder. You need to work 3 times harder, and I know it's an uphill challenge, but the reward will be greater and your contribution will be phenomenal. So you have a historic responsibility. Every time I come to Turkey, I see a people of dignity. I see people where there is affluence and growth. I haven't seen grinding poverty. Yes, I see there are refugees, there are difficulties and so on and so on. But I've gone to societies where there's grinding poverty, where there's no water, there's no electricity. I'm sitting in Istanbul, there's no electricity cuts. He comes from South Africa, there's electricity cuts every couple of weeks or every couple of months. So I think you're in a very fortunate position. Don't take this for granted that what you have is going to remain. You'll have to work to keep it. And you'll have to work to make it into something better. Otherwise, these opportunities come very rarely in the history of a people. And you have to think about this, and you can only go forward with critical thought. Thank you.
Evet, buradan da hocalarımız söz almak isterlerse, İhsan abi, sizin de düşüncelerinizi alalım. Bayağı bir soru sordum. İstediğinizi alabilirsiniz. İstediğiniz sorudan.
Evet.
Ne düşünüyorsunuz?
Şimdi bu 10 yıl önce, dün de hikayesini anlattık. Herkesle paylaştık. Zaten çoğunluk biliyor. 10 yıl önce bu İSAR Tıp ve Ahlak Çalışma Grubu kurulurken zaten düşüncemiz sorulmamış olanı sormak, cevap bulduğu zannedilenlerden şüphe etmek ve bu şüphenin üzerine yeni araştırmalar, yeni düşünceler inşa ederek, tabiri caizse hani edebiyatta geçer, bir nura doğru koşmak. Aşağı yukarı bu panelden, bitiriş panelinden tüm konuşmacıların, özellikle İbrahim Musa'nın söylediklerinden zaten aynı sonuç çıkıyor. Ben burada bu konuşmayı dinlerken, bugün yok ama analım yine, Recep Şentürk'ün İSAR kurulduktan sonra bize bu teklifi yapmasını, yani Tıp ve Ahlak Çalışma Grubu diye bir grup kurulup, sağlık alanındaki, tıp alanındaki gelişmelerin kendi öz değerlerimiz çerçevesinde, etik değerler açısından, dini değerler açısından irdelenmesinin önemli olduğunu ve bu grubu yürütmemiz gerektiğini teklif etmesinin ne kadar hayırlı bir iş olduğunu anlıyorum. Aradan 10 yıl geçtikten sonra bir panelin sonunda bu değerli misafirlerimize, genç arkadaşlarımızın önünde ne yapalım diye sorduğumuzda 10 yıl önce başladığımız nokta tavsiye ediliyor. Çok şükür ki bu 10 yıl boşa geçmemiş o zaman. Yani bugün tavsiye edilen soru sormak, okumak, yazmak, araştırmak, zaten İSAR'ın bünyesinde bu var. Ama Tıp ve Ahlak Çalışma Grubu da bunun kendi alanımızdaki uygulaması. Bu açıdan mutlu olduğumuzu ifade etmek isterim. Bir de biraz önce Hakan Hocam'la da konuştuk. Yani İSAR'ın kendi metodolojisi ya da yetiştirme yöntemi içerisinde ifade edildi ya biraz önce, mutlaka Arapçayı, temel İslami literatürü de anlayabilmek açısından öğrenmek var. Bu tabii zor bir challenge, yani zor bir hedef. Kim için? Tıp öğrencileri için, doktorlar için. Hepimiz işte tıptan gelenler biliyor ne kadar büyük zorluklar var, sınavlar var, ihtisas var. Bunlar arasında akademisyen olmak var. Bunlar arasında Arapçayı künhüne vakıf olacak şekilde öğrenmek elbette zor ama belki bizim zor görüp yapamadığımızı işte bu gençler biraz daha 3 kat fazla çalışmak demişti İbrahim Musa. Biz bir çalıştıysak gençler 3 kat daha fazla çalışacaklar ve gerçekten de tıbbi konularda fetva verebilecek düzeyde hem tıbbı hem de İslami ilimleri biliyor olacaklar gelecekte. Bunu hem bir ümit hem bir dua olarak kaydedip burada konferansla ilgili düşüncelerimize gelince esasen her yaptığımız 10 yıldan beri senede 2 kere aşağı yukarı yaptığımız toplantılarda en çok üzüldüğümüz şu oluyor. Bittikten sonra değerlendirme yaparken diyoruz ki konuşmalar çok güzeldi. Bütün konuşmacılar meramını anlattı. Fakat yeterince tartışamadık. İbrahim Musa soru sorun diyor ya, isteyenler soru soramadı. Sorulara cevap bulunamadı. Karşılıklı argümanlar yeterince tartışılamadı diye üzülüyorduk. Samimiyetle söylüyorum, en çok tartışmanın olduğu toplantı bu oldu 10 yıl içinde. Yani topluluktan biz soramadık, yeterince tartışılmadı gibi bir buradan bana bir elektrik geliyor, fark ediyorum ama sürekli içinde olduğumuz için siz de takdir edersiniz. Yine bu 2 gün içerisinde tartışmalar elhamdülillah epey bir yer aldı. Bundan sonraki toplantılarda buradan yola çıkarak biraz daha fazla tartışmamız gerektiğini düşünüyorum. Son söyleyeceğim de hem kendimize hem misafirlerimizin, yani sunum yapanlara, sunumların başında en az yarısı, hatta %60-70'i teorik bilginin tekrarıyla geçiyor. Yani giriş yapma, introduction o kadar uzuyor ki asıl mevzuya çok fazla vakit kalmıyor. Halbuki tartışma, asıl bizi ileri götürecek olan soru sorma, cevap alma, fikretme, akletme orada olacak. Meselenin vaz edilmesi ve üzerinde karşılıklı fikir serdedilmesiyle olacak. Ona biraz az vakit kalıyor. Toplantının değerlendirmesi açısından bunu da bir nakısa olarak, bir eksiklik olarak ifade ediyorum. Kabahati kendimizde buluyorum. Daha iyi organize edeceğiz.
Yazılarda onu düzelterek bize
Yazılarda
gönderirler.
düzelteceğiz. Çok iyi hatırlattın. Konuşma yapan misafirlerimizden en geç bir ay içerisinde,
Yok o kadar değil.
6 ay içerisinde, en geç 6 ay içerisinde bu konuşmaların yazılı metnini rica ediyoruz ki güzel bir kitap çıksın ve bu söylenenler kalıcı olarak geleceğe intikal etsin.
Evet.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum katılanlara ve konuşanlara.
Evet. Buyurun. Buraya ver. Buraya. Next.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed attending here, although my attendance was last minute. I just realized that I'm coming here to this conference 3 days ago, but here you go. These things do happen, nice surprises. Now, what I need to tell people here, especially young blood, young generation, is that there is two, maybe just commenting on what Ibrahim Musa is saying, there is the two extreme. The extreme of what I told my taxi driver this morning, which is that I know everything, and we have stopped 3 times before he get me here, and they say, you're a taxi driver. This is the most dangerous way of going to things. You have to realize that you don't know what's happened, you don't know the problem, you don't know the starting point, and then seek to go for knowledge. And the other extreme is to be overconfident. Underconfident. This is the overconfident of things, and the other one is lost confidence of yourself. So the second one is the, mashallah, I'm really also very, joyful, like Ibrahim Musa, that the generation here have a lot of good opportunity. They are in a good place to learn. They had a good opportunity, but do not belittle yourself. Have a confidence what you want to do. Even if somebody told you, no, you cannot do that. You're too young, you're too old, you're whatever. If you want to know something, if you have a question, go for the why and go for it. Do not let other people's opinion form you. Do not die and your music inside you. This is my advice.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think I will suggest for the future that the question should be raised from the medical side, because the medics are those people who actually face the problems in their practices. And when the fatwas are being developed in isolation without knowing their problem, actually implication of these fatwas in the practical side, then it will be irrelevant. So we become a consumer society, and this fatwa will not be consumed as we consume the Western technology. We very nicely use the Western technology, and once a question is raised out of the development of technology in the West, then we start thinking over that issue, what we should do. I give you an example. From last 2 days, we have been discussing about the reproductive issues. I suggest that in future, we should only concentrate on one issue, as like a reproductive issue or organ transplantation, or say, for example, the integration of social sciences in the curricula of medical sciences. Now, there's one question we couldn't be able to make our ulama understand what the grade 4 neural tube defect is about, and what is the anencephaly. And the end of the day, they can't understand it, and the question is still unresolved. Even in Shia, in Sunni, and all school of thought, they cut on the 120. Yes, it's okay on 120 days, but what is about about the pregnancy of an anencephaly baby which she is carrying, just a foreign body and no one among the ulama, they allow you to take this out, or you do an abortion for that. So 120 days, whatever it is, if it's not risk to the mother, you don't do it. Okay, and
It
I'll
is,
finish it in a minute. No,
just-
one another thing is our problem. I just want to identify our problem. You all know Suchi Noori is the Nobel Prize winner of 2016 on medicine. We all know why he won the Nobel Prize, because of the self-starvation, which he developed a theory of self-starvation and improve it. Right, and now we started talking about Sochini. There are 4 books available in the market which speaks about the self-starvation written by the Muslim scholars. Without knowing what phagocytome is about, what phagocytomes are doing, how they are being activated, and what are the enzymes which are responsible for that, and how they are being activated. What he said is we have made certain things. So this is the result of our ignorance. So I just to point out that ignorance should not be there. We should be doing ourselves. This Rosa, the fasting was with us over the last for 1500 years. We never thought about that this Rosa is so beneficial for us. And now this fasting or som is proved by scientific means by other person, and now we are very proud of that this is the result of our ignorance. So I just want to emphasize to my students and the young colleagues here, don't try to copy the West. Try build your own house yourself. As all of you said, that we should stand on our own feet. It's not possible that by borrowing clutches from the West, we could be able to match them in future. So it will not be possible. Thank you very much.
Just to comment on your first point, that ISAR usually do its conferences or workshops on specific issues, but in every 8 or 9 years we are coming now. This is the second one, is a methodological issue. So this is a general one already. Already we did many of these specific issues in Turkey, and some of them we published, and we still will continue in the same direction. But these methodological issues are also, we think, is important. They are important, and we need to address them also. Hakan Bey, sizin düşüncelerinizi de alalım. Are you going to speak?
Şimdi ben genellikle Profesör İbrahim Musa'nın görüşlerine gerçekten çok önemli şeyler söylediğine inanıyorum. Ona güçlü bir şekilde katılıyorum. Çünkü Türkiye'nin kendine özgü bazı koşulları da var. Bunlardan en önemlisi, Türkiye'de lise eğitiminde felsefenin yeri pek yok. Onun için kritik düşünce nedir? Felsefenin temel kavramları nedir? Üniversiteye gelen öğrencilerimiz bunları bilmiyor maalesef. O sebeple ben tıp öğrencilerine, bizim tıp fakültesinde işte bu konuları konuşabilen belki tek departmanız, orada öğrencilere biraz felsefenin, belki sosyolojinin temel kavramlarını öğrenmelerine gayret ediyorum ve onunla ilgili okumalar öneriyorum. Yine Türkiye'nin kendine özgü koşullarından biri, Profesör Muhsin İbrahim çok naif bir teklifte bulundu. İşte Arapça öğrenin, temel eserleri okuyun dedi, ama tıp eğitimi zaten zor bir eğitim. Tıp eğitimin içinde Arapçaya yeterince zaman ayrılır mı? Öğrenilse de temel eserler okunacak kadar öğrenilir mi? Ona şüphem var. Türkiye'nin bir sorunu var. Maalesef gene eğitimimizde İngilizce öğretemiyoruz. Türkler İngilizce az biliyor. Bize benzeyen bir ülke var mı diye bakınırken şaşırtıcı bir şekilde bizden daha kötü bir Avrupa ülkesi olduğunu keşfettim. Biraz mutlu oldum. İspanyollar hiç bilmiyor. Hiç bilmiyorlar yani. Çok enteresan bir Avrupa Birliği ülkesi. Fransızlar biraz biliyor. İspanya korkunç. Neyse bizim bir an evvel İngilizceyi de tıp öğrencileri bir an evvel iyi bir seviyeye getirmesi lazım ki hiç değilse artık dünyanın ortak dili oldu ve mutlaka İngilizce eğitimlerini iyi bir yere getirmeliler diye düşünüyorum. Organizasyon bir konu daha var. Yine İbrahim Musa'nın söylediği okuyun, yazın. Aslında belki şunu da demek istiyor. Merak edin. Merak etmezseniz okumazsınız. Ne okuyacağınızı bilmezsiniz. Ne yazacağınızı da bilmezsiniz. Onun için belki de eğitimin en önemli unsuru merak etmek yine bizim eksiklerimizden biri. Onun için gençlerin merak etmek için belli konulara fokuslanmalarının önemli olduğunu düşünüyorum. Organizasyonla ilgili de organizasyonun bir parçası olduğumuza göre İlhan'ın da söylediği gibi çok fazla kendi kendimizi eleştirmeyelim. Bizi başkaları eleştirsin. Teşekkür ediyorum.
Peki işin garip yanı uzaktan gelen hocamız İSAR'da tıp öğrencilerinin Arapça öğrendiğini, bitirdiklerini o süreci söylüyor ama İSAR'ın içinde olan ve uzun süredir bunun yakınında olan bir hocamız bunun olamayacağını iddia ediyor. En azından yanındaki, arkasındaki, önündeki arkadaşlar onu yalanlıyor. Yani onu bilmesi lazım. Hatta sizin söylediğiniz gibi sosyal bilimlerin temel kavramlarını ve felsefenin critical thinking'in temel kavramlarını İSAR programında alıyor musunuz Orhan? Ne diyorsunuz? Ha?
Arapça bir temel eseri okur musunuz? Tabii cevap veremeyeceksin. Bunu dışarıda biz konuşalım.
Orhan Almanya'da Almanca değil, İngilizce değil, Arapça anlaşmış. Oradaki bir doktorayla.
Neyse buna bir
İstisna olur mu ya?
eksepsiyon, bir istisna diye. Tamam. Peki. Başka?
One small thing, just one small comment. You know, you asked about methodology. One of the things I noticed that in methodology, the major issue in a methodology is to be able to refine the question. To refine the question. What is the question? And to find as many angles of the question. What is the issue at heart? What I've noticed in the methodology is that we are very quick to have the answers because we have the answers ready. So we already prejudge that the answers are in the Quran, the answer in the Sunnah, the answers in the... That is not a helpful way. You must first know the question, and the question must be asked 300 times from different angles so that you have one research paper just about the question. Then you go and set out to find the answer. But if you already have the answer, the question, the research outcome is going to be useless. So that's the first fundamental issue. Second question that Dr. Khan said, that we mustn't copy the West. I don't know what that means. There is no West in knowledge. There is no East, there is no West when it comes to knowledge. There is a East and there is a West in politics. There's a political West. There's a political East, a political North, a political South. But when it comes to knowledge, the problem, as I said 600 years, you want to say 200 years of knowledge, we have not caught up. The other big aspect that I think that we have ignored are the humanities. Those things that make us human, poetry, literature, those things that make the soul. Social science can tell you how many people there are in the room, maybe how they're thinking. But the social science can't tell you what that means. Meaning is made in the humanities. And the Muslim humanities are rich with meaning. You all know Rumi, and you know Hafiz, and you know the various poets, Mutanabbi, the Indian poets, Ghalib, and so on. The poetry, the literature, those things that the human being makes from the mind, that is unprecedented. Therefore, Ghalib writes, "Aate hai ghaib se ye mazameen khayal mein." Ghalib, something khama hai, nawaye sharosh hai. Ghalib says that, that these ideas come to my mind from the unseen. Ghalib sarir khama hai, nawaye sharosh hai. That Ghalib, he addresses himself, that the screeching on the paper is the call, is the voice of the angel Gabriel. Okay? That is how Muslim thinkers thought about the world, how they thought about self and other. Ghalib says that, that wafadari basharte ustuwari asle iman hai, that loyalty and firm is the basis of faith. Loyalty is the basis of faith. If a Brahmin who is a polytheist, who has that kind of faith, dies in his temple, you bury him in the precincts of the Kaaba. Right? That's a man deserving to be in the holy place. So the humanities are the key issues that we need to focus on, because that brings meaning and brings purpose to what all this means. And the Quran as a teaching is full of bringing that meaning to us. But we cannot understand the Quran if we don't have a taste for the humanities, the literary taste. That's what the Quran created. Why the Arabs were completely bowled over is this way this language hit them. It hit the soul. It hit the soul, and they were moved by this language. That's what literature is. That's what the humanities are about.
Thank you. Amen.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you again for the organizers for a wonderful meeting. I've learned a lot, and I'm really glad you made it. We heard very interesting insights over these 2 days, wonderful presentations, and in this final session, good pieces of advice. I would like just to reiterate and emphasize 3 points. First is the issue of thematic concentration or focus. I think it would be important to have a core kind of theme where presenters would address perhaps from different angles. The second is something I really liked is sharing experiences from different countries. So I was very glad and I'm grateful actually to hear how fatwas are made in Indonesia or in Iran or in other places. So I think this is something to be emphasized and to be commended, and you should continue doing that. We should learn from each other. The last point is the importance of the individual or personal initiative, both at the institutional but also at the individual level. That goes back to what many scholars mentioned. Professor Musa just mentioned the issue of taking risk and trying new ideas. But at the end of the day, initiatives is taking initiatives, taking risk is really what is important. So thank you again, and appreciate your effort.
Bu 2 günlük yoğun programın son anlarına geliyoruz. Bir 5 dakika daha sabrınızı istirham edeceğim. Bir teşekkürlerimi ileteyim. Tabii en başta bu toplantıya değerli zamanlarını ayırıp uzaklardan buraya özellikle deniz aşırı gelen hocalarımıza ve tabii içeriden ülkemizden katılarak bu toplantıda fikirlerini bizimle paylaşıp bu toplantıyı anlamlı kılan hocalarımıza çok teşekkür ediyorum. Allah razı olsun. Gerçekten onların çabalarıyla bu zengin toplantı ortaya çıkmış oldu. Bunun için çok müteşekkiriz. Teşekkür ediyoruz hepsine. Tabii bu toplantının ortaya çıkması uzun bir toplantılar silsilesinin arkasından uzun organizasyon arka planı ile gerçekleşti. İSAR Taç çalışma grubunun üyelerinin fikir orada o üyelerin toplantılarında gündeme geldi. Dolayısıyla bu toplantının üyelerine başta İhsan Karaman hocamız olmak üzere Hakan Ertin, İlhan İlkılıç, dün isimlerini unuttuğum Merve ve Tuğba nerede göremiyorum ve Ülfet Hanım nerede? Onların da katıldığı ve daha pek çok Cüneyt Hoca var, başkaları var ve genç arkadaşlar ve tabii ki onlara geleceğim. Onlara da çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Bu toplantı onların 10 yıldır ısrarla bir araya gelme iradelerinin bir sonucu olarak ortaya çıktı ve bu grup artık Türkiye'de ulusal düzeyde ve şimdi uluslararası düzeyde ses getiren bir noktaya geldi diye umuyorum. İnşallah daha hayırlı sesleri de duyarız ulusal düzeyde. Efendim bu toplantının sizin önünüze bu kadar böyle çok net, güzel, hazır bir biçimde ve sorunsuz bir biçimde gelmesini sağlayan tabii ki İSAR Taç Çalışma Grubu'nun genç sekreteri Tuncay kardeşim, bir ayağa kalkalım. Onun ve tabii ki onu böyle hararetle alkışlayan ekibinin isimlerini tek tek söyleyemeyeceğim ama Orhan kalk, arkadaşlar ayağa kalkın şöyle. Evet, bu arkadaşlar gerçekten büyük bir fedakarlıkla bu toplantıda misafirlerin havaalanından alınması, buradaki iletişim ve diğer vasıtalarının sağlanmasında gerçekten çok büyük katkı verdiler. Onlara çok teşekkür ediyorum. Allah razı olsun. İnşallah daha güzel kariyerlerde, büyük başarılarda imzalarının olacağına ben inanıyorum. Allah yardımcıları olsun. Efendim tercümanlara geleceğim. Şimdi burada İSAR Vakfı'nın mütevellisi ve yönetimi, rahmetli Abdullah Tivinikli, Fahrettin Tivinikliler, ikisi de rahmetli oldu bu programı başlatan bu iki isim. Onları da rahmetle anıyorum ve şu anki mevcut İSAR mütevellisini ve yönetimini bu toplantılara verdikleri maddi destek ve himayeleriyle gerçekten çok büyük bir katkı veriyorlar. Onlara da müteşekkiriz. Onların da sayeleri meşgul olsun Rabbimiz nezdinde. Tabii ki İSAM bize bu salonu sağlıyor. Bu çok önemli bir nimet ve bu gördüğümüz imkanlar ve İSAM'ın çalışanlarına, yönetimine ve çalışanlara bu imkanları bize sunan arkadaşlara gerçekten teşekkür ediyorum. Tabii ki kameraman arkadaşım, mütercimler orada gerçekten 2 gündür çok büyük işler başardılar. Bunlara da bir alkış alalım. Çok teşekkür ediyorum. İsimlerini unuttum. Tabii ki sizler 2 gün boyunca bizi sabırla dinlediniz. Gerçekten bu salonu boş bırakmadınız. Bu da çok büyük bir nimet bizim açımızdan ve bunun için de Rabbime hamd ediyorum ve gerçekten bu heyecanın devam etmesini ve bu çalışmaların ciddi meyvelerinin sizler sayesinde hep beraber birlikte çalışarak ortaya çıkmasını sağlamasını Yüce Rabbimden temenni ediyorum. İnşallah daha güzel, daha önemli toplantılarda bir arada oluruz. Daha verimli çalışmalarla bir araya geliriz.